um, that I basically have, uh, we basically went through a transformation with the new president. We went through a transformation in curriculum development design. That's why you're on Blackboard. I like Blackboard. I like Populi. They all have different things. I've done Blackboard a lot. I've done Canvas a lot. I've done Populi now for a very, very long time. But the method that they were trying to teach us is okay, but it does not match a 16-week class. So this is a trial and error class. I have in my mind what I want to do and what I want to get through. You'll see this, there's 8 weeks in there. Those are 2-week modules. Okay, they're 2-week modules. So everything will be over, that section will be over 2 weeks, not over 1 week. I'm not a person to come in and want to lecture for an hour and 15 minutes. You're going to get a lot of talking today. My idea is to take the concepts that are necessary and do discussions on them, do projects on them, do little things where you have to write a little bit. So I can help you with your writing along the way, because it's one of your first classes. Now how many of you were in BEH? Either of them? Writing, you are. Any of you other? Okay. So bottom line is I'm going to give you some things along the way to help you along. This is not high school. I said the other day, it's not high school. Okay. Some things are going to feel like high school. It's like high school, and there's going to be other things that are not. You have more time on your hands. You're not in class for 7-8 hours a day. You're in class. So some of you might only have this class today, and the rest of the time is yours. Time management is a big portion of it. Getting your things done early in the week. That way you get the rest of the week to yourself, or you can start working on the week ahead. It's about planning, being efficient. I'm going to try and do my best in this class to help you learn to be efficient in what you're doing and finding things. Okay. Because that's half the battle. It's half the battle. How many of you bought the book? There's the next one. You have to have the book to pass the class. So you need to get on there and get it ordered. Okay. Everything is set up. There are tests. And this is another disclaimer in this test thing, is that I'm not a fan of tests. I'm more a fan of writing, but they made me put in tests. So I made tests. So there's a test that, and I probably have to change the due dates, but, and I'll look at that when I bring it up. How do I say this? You get 99 tries to get it right. My only problem is they made me do test banks, which is like the 2 chapters and all the questions. I don't know if the questions come up different every time. So when you take the first test, make sure that you're taking notes on what you take some notes on what the question is. This is cheating. Okay. Shouldn't be telling you should figure this on your own, but I need you right now. Take a little note of what the question was about and what you put down as an answer. If that answer was wrong, okay, then you go back and you fix it till you get it right. This may not work. Okay. If it doesn't work, the next test that comes up, you'll take the test in class. I'll figure out which ones you did wrong. I will give you those and you can up your grade to 100 that way. Okay. I'm not here to fail you. I'm here for you to get the knowledge that you need to move on. This is technically an elective. It's not a core class. Kind of is and kind of is. I haven't figured it out yet. Okay. So when I get that one down, I'll let you know. But I think for kinesiology, it could be a core class, but it's really on that left-hand side. When you look at your degree audit, if you look at your degree audit, the left and right. Left is your general education classes and your electives. The right is your core. You've got to have a C on this side. And I'm not going to talk about the other side because I don't want to bring that up. I don't want to give you an option on that. But over here, you have to have a C or above to move on. Over here, I'll leave that one alone. So understanding that the whole idea behind this is that we may have a 2-week, I may set up a 2-week project. We're doing class. It's all in class. It's where we're going to do discussions. We're going to talk about stuff. We're going to come up with plans along the way. You have a major assignment and you've got some discussion boards to do. We're going to do your discussion. I need you prepared on Monday morning to come in here and write your discussion board if you haven't already done it in class. Okay. I need work done. I need stuff to get done. So we do that. We move into lecture. The next day we do a little more lecture, and then we may be doing a project over the whole time. So in the class, if you're not here, then guess what? You're on your own. Stuff will be posted. I'll make little videos like this we're beginning stuff, and I'll post those up in there. But a lot of the stuff we do is in class. The idea of you going home, there's certain things you have to do at home, like your final paper and everything else. But there are milestones along the way that if you're turning those in, by the time you're done, the paper's good. Okay, and I'll take that paper. It'll have a grade, but it should be 100. Why? Because you'll turn in the paper. I'll edit it and tell you where you need to add stuff. You go back and do it. When you do that, you get an F because it is an F paper because you didn't do it right. And when you complete those edits and it's up to where it is, it goes to 100. So you can't really miss unless you don't do the work or don't show up. That kind of makes sense. So everything you may say, oh, that sounds kind of weird. Yes, it is weird. But it's your first class, number one. This is one of your first classes. You got to get in the mode of doing things correctly because then you become efficient. And I'm big on efficiency. Stop wasting time. Okay. Stop doing stuff on Sunday night. Okay. You got too much to do. You know, you have a job, right? So how many hours a week do you work? 40. You work 40. Anything else in your life other than that? You don't do anything else other than that, but eat, sleep, do your homework, and you don't ever go out and do anything. You never go. Sometimes. So all those little things get pushed in there, and it's easy to push away things that you don't want to do. And I'm not gonna lie, hey, I don't want to school. I don't want to do it either. But then I got down to the end, and I finally got tired of doing that, and that's how I was so poor as a student at the beginning because nobody told me this. Budget out your time so you're making sure that you're hitting every class every day. You're at least looking at something. Even if it's 10 minutes in this class, you might not have to look at a lot, but just know. So like for me, how many classes do you have? 5? 6? 5. How many? Say what's still a class? So 6. How many? I have 15. 15 total classes. Some have 1 and 2, but it's still a class. I still have to do the work. It's different than 30 when you have all the papers great, but it still takes time. So on Saturday morning, I go through every class and I grade daily. Whatever's in there to be graded gets done on that day. So it comes back very fast. If you're late with something, you might get it back soon. You might get it back later, depending on how much work it is for me. Those are the real key things, but turning stuff in on time and getting in a pattern of doing that. You need to have a day where you just kind of go through all your classes and say, what do I need to do this week, and write it down. Because I'll tell you something, that all that you're going to do in this college comes down to a question. That means multiple questions. You get a discussion boards, there's always multiple questions that have to be answered. Okay. So what is health? What is this? What is this? I got to the point where I sped up my process by taking a discussion board and writing down the questions that I needed to answer. I put an introduction at the top and a conclusion at the bottom when I was done. And I answered those questions thoroughly. I never had a problem with the discussion board after that. But it honed down to what I needed to find either in the textbook or in somewhere else to be able to answer that question. When you do a research paper, everything is a question: who, what, why, where, and when. If you have all that in there, you're fine. So it really comes down to you budgeting your time to where, for me, it was like I finally got to the point where I couldn't go in the afternoon. Why? Because as soon as I sat down to type for my dissertation, honey, you hear the word honey. Then you gotta go do something. I would get up at 5. I'd be at the coffee shop at 5. I work from 5 to 8. In 3 hours, I can get everything done. It would take me hours and hours at home because I don't have any distraction. I had noise canceling headphones on, and I just get to work. You got to find that quiet place that works for you, that you can hone in and get everything done. You want to try and do as much as you can early in the week. It saves for the disasters at the end of the week. Why? Early in the week, yeah, it's okay. But that end of the week, somebody going, hey, you want to go? You can say yes. You want to go do this Saturday? Yes. Oh no, I have to write a 10-page paper because it's due on Sunday. Really? So budgeting out your time, looking at that project at the very beginning of the year and saying, I need to do this by this. I need to set your milestones and just get it done. And you'll find out that everything kind of evens out. Plus, God blesses you. You're being a good steward of your time, doing something good. At the same time, the devil rears his ugly head. At the same time, anytime you're doing anything good, you'll find that out as you go through the process here, that the devil rears his ugly head. No offense, somebody will get ill. Somebody will possibly pass away during this time. It's always a possibility. Okay. But I always tell the same thing. I said, yes, I understand that, but you're 3 weeks behind because of your, I'm gonna be honest, mourning. But I want to ask you the question: did Grandma Jane want you to graduate with your degree? Are you honoring her by doing that? Depression is something that comes up. It's easy to get depressed. You guys are from out of state. It's easy to get homesick. It's easy to get this. Reaction creates action. So the more that you immerse yourself in the things that you're supposed to do, you take away the stress. So one thing over UCSD for my son, he was struggling in some of his classes. Some of the classes were just off the charts. I'll tell you another day about that. But the classes were not even in his realm. It was not something he should have been in. Visor was horrible. And it affected his baseball because he was so stressed about not making grades. And that's a whole portion of it. But the farther you become behind, you either make two things. You either shove it in the back and pray that it fixes itself, or you just ignore it altogether. And then you'll come to me at the end of, what do I do to get my grade up? And I'm going to say nothing. Nothing. Because I'm going to be here every day I can. You're going to be here every day you can. Okay. And we're going to work together on this. But the idea that if you disappear for a couple of weeks, they're going to drop you. You're, no offense, but you're in trouble if you do that. Why? Because the VA will come back and ask you for money back. Financial aid will ask you for money back. They're paying upfront, saying that you're going to do what you said you're going to do. And if you don't, they'll turn around and they'll start sending you things to get their money back, because they're paying for you to go to college, whatever that amount is. And then 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have it at that point. Okay. Retaking classes. You want to be a physical therapist? Don't fail any classes. You need high. You need to be up here. You know what it takes to get into a doctorate of physical therapy? 3.89 grade point average and above, which is not probably low. Okay. You cannot retake a class. You cannot, you cannot fail a class. Whether you retake it or not, once you fail a class, there's no way you're getting in. It's the most cutthroat and even more the medical school. When you leave here, you go right from here to doctor. 6 days a week, generally about 6 classes, whatever their session is. You sign papers that you cannot work. You are totally immersed in that for for 18 to 24 months. So it's no joke. So coming in, you need A's and B's. Really, you need all A's. But a B along the way is not bad. So, and that's not for everybody. Some people can get away with a B average and get a job and get a good paying job. You want to go to a doctor of physical therapy because that's the only place there's any money in the job. Without it, you're an aide and you make $25, $30 an hour, which is for some people is great. But then when you go in there and the other guy's making 200 grand and you're making pennies on the dollar and you're doing all the work, well, they're just doing, see what I'm saying? Set yourself up right away. Okay. So for this class, I'm going to share the screen. And then where is it? There it is. Let's see here. And so you're on this institutional page and oops, got a little touchy there. I don't know what that is. So let's make this big. So this is the main page. You'll see messages, notification settings. All that's new to me, so bear with me on that. Okay. I email. I use Popular. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to try and see if Popular work. Popular, I can text message you from there. Okay, so as long as your phone number's on there, right? You make sure your email is there, because that is also important. So if something comes up, it's email, text on there. And then I put it on the main page which I don't know if I can do that here. I got to work on that one. But I know I can do it in Populi, and your name is still in there, so it'd probably go to you. To get something Populi that says, okay, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that. I send out messages, reminders, all kinds of stuff. But if you don't, you should be checking your email more than once a day. Lots of things happen. We had to close down campus last year for a day because of something that happened. It wasn't in our control. It was like there was a little bit of a gas leak. Well, half the students are out there, but you got emails, you got text messages, you got all kinds of stuff. And like I said on a meeting the other day, I said, I have a hard time when I text you, even if I text you personally, and you say you didn't get it. You better be able to show me that you didn't get it, because it says delivered on mine, and I know you got it, and you're on your phone most of the time. So bottom line is we know that we get those. Hey. Oh. You got your computer? You don't?
No.
Okay. All right. Basically, so this is Blackboard. So if you go to the left-hand side and you hit courses, oh boy. This is 3A, right? You told me that earlier. I don't know what your page looks like. Does it look like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, click on that one. It'll take you into the class. So on the left-hand side or right-hand side, whichever it is. For me, it's on my left-hand side. It says home, getting started, syllabus, and learning activities. Okay. Hit the syllabus. Why is my name not up there? Done it 3 times now. There's the book, Understanding Your Health by Payne. Okay. It is available on Vital Source. No. But you need to get the book as soon as possible. You can get a previous edition, that's fine. If you get a used one, it's maybe this edition or a previous edition, that's all good. Okay. But when you get that previous issue, you come in and you need to come in and we need to talk about, I need to take a look at your table of contents. You may have to do different chapters. They may have shifted one chapter to make a brand new book and make more money. That's all that sometimes they do. Is they add in one section and say, hey, it's a brand new edition. Everybody has to buy a new edition. Okay. Basically, this is our course learning outcomes, reading, learning videos, discussion forums, comprehensive tests, becoming physically fit paper. We'll go over that next week. And then you'll see on this syllabus, it kind of gives you exactly what you need to read. Chapter 1 and 2. This week, you basically have the discussion, and you have the comprehension test that you need to take which I lied here. It's going to be week 2, and I'll make those adjustments as we go along. Okay. There'll be other assignments added, the ones we do in the class that you'll post. That's about it. Okay. That way I can give you credit, for doing the work, other than just, hey, what's it for? No, it's this. So then basically you go into the learning activities, and there's some stuff about being successful. The first thing you need to do is do this student responsibility agreement. Okay. You hit begin and you do whatever it says. I have no idea what it is, so please somebody tell me after you're done with it. And then to be successful, rubrics, APA basics, which we'll be going over in here a little bit. And then you'll see module 1. This is our first module. Okay. It tells you what to read. There's supposed to be some videos there, but I never got to it. It's going to be all in class. Discussion forum 1 here. You see I set them up this way. So these are the questions you need to answer. Okay. And then there's the rubric for it. And then here's the paper overview, which we will go over next Monday. Okay. And then we come back and you have that comprehension test, and the first one to take it, please let me know how it is and take it again. Don't worry about the grade. I don't care about the grade. Okay, I care about somebody getting in there and taking the test. Tell me how it all works on that end, and then I can make the decisions that whether we can. If the questions come up totally different, we're done. You can stop that test. As soon as you know the tests don't match, give me a text message and let me tell, and then I'll shut everybody else down. You take the test once. And then we'll figure out which ones you got wrong. And then you can get the right answers in 2 weeks. Sound fair? Okay. So after this is communication. Communication is so important and it's so vital to your, I would say this, to your overall health. And basically my overall health, stress. If you're not here or whatever it is, this is my phone number. So my phone number is 562-685-1901. Okay, first up is a text message, which I'd like you to pull out your phone and text me. Still know your name. Put in your full name and text me right now. That way I can lock you in as one of my students and I can put you in. Because if I don't have your name and I don't have that, then I have to ask, who is this? Okay. So the first thing you do is text, and I'll get into that in a second. The second thing you do is call. Because some people don't like to text. I'm okay with that. I'm not a fan of texting all the time. And then the last one is email. Why? It's snail. It's the new snail mail. Okay. I don't have my computer in front of me and my phone. I can look in there, but it's not something that comes up right away. You're working on something, and if I can answer that question and keep you on track, that's what I'd rather do. Plus, I have so much stuff going on that I can't wait until I get home to answer a text message that could have been handled then. You might be a day behind then. Okay. So text. Once you text it, you get the name in there. It's kind of like the idea of saying, I don't understand anything. That's a downright lie. You're just saying, I don't care. I don't know. Whatever you want to think it is. Good morning. So the thing is that you need to be very explicit what you need. I'm in the movies. I see it. I can say, do this and put the phone back on my chest and I go right about my business. I'd be on the golf course. You text me. I can go, da, 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 and you keep moving. 2 places, church and when my kid's pitching. Ain't gonna happen. I'm not there. Okay. You welcome to text me at 9:12. I go to church on Wednesday nights. I have Bible study on Thursday nights. And that you're welcome to text me during that time. Don't expect to text till after. I'm done with it. Okay. Any other time, as if I can get to my phone and do it, I teach in the mornings here. You're welcome to come by and talk to me. You know, don't hesitate. So this is the point where I'm going to say, what's a stupid question? There is no such thing. If you don't understand it, it's I don't understand question. It's not a stupid question. Okay. I'm not going to tell you that. That's just not going to happen. Just not going to happen. Okay. You're in class, you have a question, you don't want to ask it out loud. You text me. In class, I don't care. You are not a person that can say what you need right then. Text me. I can answer now, or you let me know, and I'll talk to you later. Whatever. It's about getting done. Getting it done and being efficient. Years ago at Fullerton, they had this program where I would take my PowerPoint, put it in there, and it was in a computer room. So everybody had a computer, it came up on a computer, and you had your own private chat, okay, only with the professor. So they could type in, oh, what's the meaning? Because that would be a question that would be right. That would be like a dumb question in a classroom. Okay. So the most simplest thing is the arithmetic, 2 words, arithmetic together. But in a stats class, you really don't know how to say things, so people would bumble. It was a great semester because I was sitting in front and they'd say, I don't understand this. And I go, hey, you know what, maybe we should go back. So I do my Zooms on.
send me any questions, they're anonymous. I don't care at the beginning, I answer all these questions. And then I go into what else I need to talk about that. But that's the key is that we want to do this as quickly as possible. So, send me a question and I answer right away. I can't answer it in text myself. I make it before I'm trying to call you. Don't answer, that means you know that I've called you back and that means you call me back to me to talk. You get a message, I need to talk to you as soon as possible. That means I need to talk to you as soon as possible. 9 times out of 10 is not bad. It's something I'm seeing that you're doing wrong that I cannot articulate in a text message. Or even in some of your assignments, you'll get video feedback. I'll edit your paper and I'll do a video feedback so you understand what I'm doing. So you can quit making those crazy mistakes. Leaving out period. Or, spelling words out. Shorten the word assess. What do you turn it to? Greatest thing. To me, that's the greatest thing I see. Oh my God, hurry up, get there. The author, the paper, it's like that. There's very few things when you're reading papers that come out really good that really make you smile. So text, be explicit. So if you're looking at something on, I'm gonna say Blackboard, and it doesn't look right, take a picture of it, you send it to me. It's not, there's something wrong here. No, I can see exactly what it is. I said, no, that's right, or no, that's wrong. Because I'm a disclaimer again. There'll be some mistakes this semester in terms of due dates. Now, as we get through the beginning of this. So if you see something wrong, say it. Hit it up and say, hey, I don't think this is right. You're not hurting my ego. I had 7 brand new classes to build over the summer. Okay, on top of the other 8 that I have already that had to be fixed up a little bit. Some of you destroyed a couple. So understanding that in that respect, know that's important. That if you see something, it just doesn't look right, doesn't matter if you're right, I'm right, I don't care, we gotta get it right and go. So like today, I'm gonna spend time getting there and moving those into the right spots. Okay. So be very thin or take a picture of whatever you're working on, whether it's your paper or whatever, is this right? Even a question of, hey, am I doing this right? You're writing the paper and you take a thing, you copy it, and put it in a body of an email, that's a good email. And say, what do you think about this? I'll look at it and send it back. Make some edits, send it back. It's how we get to the finish line together, rather than this. I don't like teaching classes where I say, okay, write that paper. So story time. Son, last class over there. You 3 are working as a group, right? I say, write an essay on whatever topic you want to do. It's kind of like a writing class. I love writing. Write an essay that's about 2,500 words. And each of you pick the topic. You should take AI. You take sports management. And I come to a meeting in the middle of the semester and I say, right, 5,000. And they match. So they spend another 2.5 weeks on the phone, probably an hour a day, figuring out how they're going to match this all up. They match it all up. Okay, turn it in. Then you tell them until the end of the semester. No, that's not great. That's not fair, and that's not right. So you're gonna find out it's fair and right. You have amount of work that you have to get done, but a lot of this is going to be about you broadening your horizons in the area of health issues and discussing things and talking about stuff and doing projects based on it. Simple projects. Okay. But to bring forth to light things that are going on. Okay. Text, call. You call. Okay. Leave a message. Hi, this is so-and-so. I'm having a problem on this assignment. And I really need your help. I don't understand this section. Could have been done in a text message, but if you want to call, that's fine. If you catch me, you don't catch me, you might want to text me. Okay? And again, email is your last resort. Because it could be hours, or this could be seconds. Okay, it could be an hour here if I'm in class and I can't have a break. Lots of times I'll answer a quick question if you're doing something,
Gotta keep it rolling. That's always how I feel. Okay? You just can, I need you to text me. Okay? All right, so any questions on that portion of the class? Okay? So, getting into the topic itself of health issues. We're going to be exploring different aspects of health issues such as alcoholism, the norms, okay? We're also going to be doing something a little bit on like geriatric and across the board and those things. So time is enough. Perfect. You must have the textbook, and the reason why, yes. No, 9-562-685-1901. No, I write like a doctor too. Having the textbook is real important. You will be using the textbook because that's what the test is based off of, really. So the reading is your responsibility. And then we come into class and I pick what I believe is important. It's going to be valid that we can actually discuss and work on and build projects around it to shed lights on things. So it's not like it's going to be, huge projects, but they're just going to be little projects along the way to be able to, and then sometimes it may be just an overall discussion where you sit here and you do a little research and you go as a team. Because one of the things that especially are you new? First class ever? Okay. And the same idea is, how do you find things? So that was kind of like where my intro kind of ends, is in the idea that, tell me, if you had to find something, what would you do? Let's say I had to find my keys. What would be the first thing you do? Look for them. That's very good. That's a great first answer. But what else would you do? Go to the last spot. What else would you do? Somebody else. What else would you do? Ask people. I always, anytime it happens, I think of Joe Coy. Anybody heard Joe Coy's thing about his mom when he lost his keys? Yeah, that's perfect. It's perfect. So what happened? Someone pick on you. If I asked you to change the oil in my car, could you do it? Could you do it? Could you do it?
No.
Can anybody else want to answer that question? You could. You could change the oil in my car.
Do I know how? No.
Do you know how? No. See, all of a sudden it's a paradigm shift, isn't it? How would you find out how to change the oil if you had to do it? Let's say if I answer this question, if I was to give you $1 million to change my oil, could you do it? See the difference? So what do you want to be when you grow up? A judge. You're going to get paid pretty well, aren't you? So if I told you you could be a judge if you change the oil, would you do it? Okay. How would you do it? Wow. All of a sudden we can do it. Now, where would you look? And what else? Somebody else throw out. Where else? YouTube. You see what I'm saying? All of a sudden, you see how our attitude changed? Is when you knew where to go and what to do. YouTube was my friend. My doctorate was all online. I had good professors and I had bad professors. That's when what was it? iTunes came out with the university in your ear. I was listening to stats. I was in advanced stats. Listened to advanced stats, and my ear didn't understand a thing of it. But it was like, I got to just keep trying to find a way. The book was this big. It's actually in there. It's about this big. I slept with it. I took it to movies. Whenever I just kept reading it, because it was like hieroglyphics. Then we found a subsequent book. Right? We found a subsequent book that put it into English, layman's terms. We were off to the races. So you go to YouTube and it shows you how to do it. Could you not do it? Would it be hard? Maybe it might be. It might be because you may not have the tools to do it. You have to go find the tools. You have to do all this other stuff, but you could do it. You would know to take off the plug and let the oil come out, plug back in, oil the thing up, put it back in there, put oil in, and you're done. But a minute ago, you didn't know how to do it, but you can go to YouTube now and stop and pause and go back and forth. Okay. But all those things are available to you. Okay. YouTube, you got a topic, go to YouTube. What's other ways that you could find information? Let's say let's say you're writing your final paper. What are some other things that you could you're writing a final paper. What are some other things that you could do? Look up other papers, such as journal articles, dissertations, stuff like what else? Sometimes that's good. Make sure you pick one that doesn't have an F in the class. That's a disclaimer. I've had that more than often. Okay, what else? What are some other things? How else would you find stuff? Library, our library. I would say there's a lot in our library, but it's not a lot. Where else? Come on, think. You haven't said a word. Give me something. Give me another one. Don't care if it's right or wrong. Not bad. That's a good one. Little tough, time consuming, but yes. But you know, you can go into Amazon and most of them have the first chapter of a book for free, and you can read and kind of learn about the topic. There, so you're on the right track. What else? Brain fuse, yes. Hey. Yeah. So he said that's kind of you said that. That's awesome. Yeah, we do have tutoring available. Shouldn't really need it in this class, but you have tutoring available if you need it. What else? Yeah, I don't ask you. He's bored. No, just kidding. That's good. That's a good. But what about ChatGPT? What do you think? Yes or no? Yes and no. Depends is the best answer. So I look at ChatGPT as the Wikipedia, the new Wikipedia. So let's say, you're going to know the answer to that. You want to be a physical therapist, right? Do you know, you understand what power is and the formula for power and what it is? Okay. So when you don't know a topic, you can go in there and type it in, tap in the topic and say, give me a 2-page paper on power in biomechanics. The guy there in class, biomechanics. And it'll give you a 2-page paper. You skim that paper and it gives you a place to start. Now, it's not for, give me a 2-page paper with citations on power, and you copy and paste it in because you will get busted. We're all really, really good at it. But ChatGPT I use it for classes. I'm not sure on a topic or something. I can type in, give me a VBA on adult health. And it will give me a code that I take and I slap it into a PowerPoint, and my PowerPoint's done. I don't have to type it all out. It's already done. So it's value to it. But whatever you do not use it as your whole paper and turn it in. Because what happens is you're going to do a lot of writing in here, and then you go to ChatGPT, it's going to come out perfect and all that. And we have access to, once you're here for a while, we have access to your other classes. So we can go, you didn't write like that before. Did God lay hands on you? At that moment, it makes you a perfect writer? Probably the answer to that is no. So just know that ChatGPT has its valid use. It's just not one that you want to use your whole paper on. Better than Wikipedia. Wikipedia is really is really good. That's what I used in my dissertation. When I didn't understand a word, the word construct just uses like keyword like that. I just could not. It just didn't compute. And I went into Wikipedia and I got that, and then I went from there. I went somewhere else. It pointed me to different things, and now I understand it. You got to be at that level sometimes when you're writing a book. Okay. So everybody understand? There's lots of ways to finding out your stuff. If you're in math or you're in science and you're in a lot of the classes, YouTube is the best place. And I tell you, I get away from them funky old professors on there and go to the ones with the cartoons. Those are the best because there's no fluff or nothing. And plus, no offense to anybody that has an accent, some of those people have some serious accents. I go and I'm trying to find one for class. This is perfect. I'm looking at it and I turn it on and I can understand every third word. I said, that's not fair to my students. I said, now, if that you like that, type it in. It'll be there. You can watch it. But using your time wisely, that's being efficient. The idea that you can say now, I don't understand anything about it. Like go back to the, I don't understand anything about it. That means you didn't do anything. Because anything I don't understand, I go right to ChatGPT and say, hey, tell me about this, please. Then I can take it from there and things will explode. So even in this class and all your classes, because most of you are brand new, you got to understand that there is a method to the madness in every class, no matter what it is. And there's a vernacular and a verbiage that's used in every class. So let's say you're in a kinesiology, a real kinesiology class like biomechanics. There are key words that are so important that you have to know. In here, though, as you go through, there will be key words that will help you on the test as you're reading it. Okay, there will be keywords in English that are so important when you when you're in my class. This next class, the other class is we spend a lot of time dealing with keywords because what do you believe a keyword is? Clue or guide. That's at the very basic level. That's good. But if I was to say, let's say I was just let me see if I can come up with a good sentence. Exercise is the most important part of my day. What's the key word in that sentence? Exercise, right? What happens if I take that word out? Does the sentence die? See, that's what a keyword is. It's not all keywords. It's the keywords that really go to it. We're talking about exercise, and now that exercise is your keyword. And if you start to learn the keywords and the key vernacular, okay, and understand what they mean, everything becomes easier. So, I mean, that advanced stats class taught me a lot. So, if you were to open up a textbook, what's the first thing you do? Go to your first chapter. What is the first thing you do? No, we're in chapter 1. We're getting ready to get down to studying. How do you read that chapter? Read every word. That's good. You're on the right track, but you're not there yet. Summary. Why do you read the summary first? Tell you the key words, the most important words the author wants. Now, that is very, very important, like in this class where we're using the author's tests. I didn't make them up. The author's test, because they're going to deal with those key concepts are what they're going to do. So you start there and you read that. And then you skim. And then you skim. And you skim. How do you skim? Does anybody know how to skim? How do you skim?
I mean, I don't know how you officially do it.
No, I want to hear how, what in your mind right now, that question, bam. That's not bad. What else? You read every first sentence. You read every first sentence. Because if the textbook's written well, the first sentence leads into the rest. It's like writing a professional paragraph. Your first sentence leads you in. So if you skim it once, just skim it, see what's in there. Second time you come back and read just the first sentence. So you had to decide. Now you go back and you go back to that summary, and now you go to that summary again after you've already read it, and you look at what the key concepts were, and you find those first. If your professor gives you guidelines of what they're looking for in that chapter, that third reading is where you find those things. Don't worry about nothing else. Don't worry about all the other words. You want to find those things. Then you're being efficient when you're reading. And it doesn't take that long to skim a chapter. I mean, it's chapter 50 pages. You can do it over 2 periods of time. But the key is knowing what you really need to know. Okay, you do that before you come to class. Now the professor talks about this, and this, and this. It says it's going to be on the test. You've already got a head start on it. And the second time, now you go back and you're only reading those parts. The only time you ever read is when you're almost done. You read the whole chapter from beginning to end if you have time. But you become efficient and you're only working on what you really need to know to get that portion done. Everything else will come together. But how long does it take to skim 20 pages? Probably 5 minutes, 5, 10 minutes. Read the first line of everything, another 5 or 10 minutes. Figure out what is important, another maybe half hour, and you're done. By the time you could have notes that you would be able to open up your test and be able to find everything, because tests are online, so you really have all the efforts. I used to take those little things and put them in there for everything that was supposed to be on the test. And I, from page to page, I found it, and it was done. It's about being efficient. Being able to touch every class, being able to be efficient when you're doing this. It's really, really important as we move along here in all of your classes, because you have 6 classes. That's a lot. And some of them are 1 day and some of them are 2. But the more that you get done and go, you'll be rocking and rolling. Okay. That's kind of like an overview of where we're going. Monday, we're going to get into the PowerPoint. The first PowerPoint is 2 chapters this week. So we'll do 1 the first week, 1 the second week. We got a little project on for sure. That'll start on Monday, and we'll finish. If we need to, we'll finish on Thursday. And then Thursday, we're going to talk about a couple things, but one of them is going to be Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because you all need to know that, because it comes up in so many of your classes. It's one of the most famous all theories. And it's really important. If you have a good base in that, every time it comes up, you just get better at it and better and better at it. I really didn't hit it until I was in my master's hard, and I got hit real hard in my master's. I really got hit hard in my doctorate. And it's not very hard to understand, but it's like, if you understand, when you see it, you go, oh, I know that. That's the whole idea on that one. But it really does encompass everything, that kind of like what we're doing over this period of time, if we understand those theories. And there's some other theories that are going to come up, and those are real important along the way too. So again, in this class, a lot of what we're going to do is going to be in here. Okay. If you're not here, then you're kind of on your own. You got to get it done. But it's going to be hard to do those projects with the very little information I'm going to be able to put up on those little projects we have in class. So being here is extremely important. All right. Any questions? Any questions that you have? We're all in. Do you have your computer with you? Okay, you need to bring it. Okay. Because do you know how to get into Blackboard? That's the link. Yep. If you know where that link is, that's the link you get in, and then you get into here. And if you have any questions, hit me up. Okay. We had 2 new people come in. So you want to introduce yourself and tell us about yourself and what you want to school for, where you're from. Mm-mm. What do you want to be when you grow up? I'm not, and I'm 60, so. Okay. All right. Let me look back. So. What's your name? Okay. So we could be presenting here as a group or groups. We could be, those projects are based on what the needs are of each project. They're being built as we go along. But it's all about the idea of taking a concept and being able to find out enough about it to be able to, I always like the idea of teaching someone else. It's kind of like the Bible. I could evangelize all day, but if I've never opened the Bible, I really can't evangelize, right? So you get into the topic and you be able to articulate to our group only what it is that you believe is important. And you hear that part is what you believe is important. Because when we get into alcohol, we get into nicotine, or we get into those, everybody could have some different feeling about it. Such as the idea of, I don't care if somebody else does it, but I do it. And you might say, another person might say, everybody should not do it. But the idea, everybody should never do it. The thing about that is that we must back up what we're saying. Not just making a statement. So when we're in discussion and you make what we call an assertion, you need to be able to back it up. Okay. And if you can't, that's where I'm going to send you back to find out how. What this does is it makes you critically think. And that's the biggest part of college that is not taught in high school. And some of you may have had it. Critical thinking is the factor of taking something that really means nothing, like the word nicotine, and making something out of it. Okay. We are not going to in here impose our will on you that you say, I love to smoke. It does this, this, and this for me. Okay. And someone else says, but you have this, this, and this. I don't smoke because this, I wish you would not smoke. And these are the reasons, but then again, these are the reasons why. And it's not about pointing anybody out or pointing out, I use that example, but probably not even a valid example, but that's the far end of it. It's the idea of starting a conversation.